Hey guys, hope you're all well. Today on Fascinating Facts, we will be talking about 10 surprising facts on human psychology that you probably didn't know. So let's get started. Fact number 1. Your brain can read jumbled up words. We would like to share an example and we will give you 5 seconds to read. Can you read it? No? Let me help you. This says these words may look like nonsense, but you can read them, can't you? According to the research of Cambridge University of London, the order of letter in a word is not very important. What matters is that the first and the last letter be in the right place. The other letters can be a total mess and you can still read without much problem. Because your brain doesn't read every letter but read words and group of words. Fact number 2. You know how to do things that you have never done before. Imagine that you have never seen a MacBook, but I have just handed one to you and told you that you can read books on it. Before you turn on the MacBook, before you use it, you have a model in your mind of what reading a book on the MacBook will be like. You have an assumption about what the book will look like on the screen, what things you will be able to do, and how you will do them. Things like open a book, turning a page, using a bookmark. You have a mental model of reading a book on the MacBook, even if you have never done it before. According to the Susan Carey's 1986 journal article, Cognitive Science and Science Education, a mental model represents a person's thought process for how something works. For example, a person's understanding of the surrounding world. Mental models are based on incomplete facts, past experience, and even intuitive perception. They help shape action and behavior, influence what people pay attention to in complicated situations, and define how people approach and solve problems. Fact number 3. People use grouping of things to remember. If I ask you to describe what a head is, you might talk about the brain, hair, eyes, ears, nose, lips, neck, etc. A head is made up of many things, but you have gathered all that information together and called it head. Similarly, I could talk about the concept eye, and you would think about all the things that make up an eye, the eyeball, iris, eyelash, eyelid, etc. Psychologists call these groupings a schema, the plural of schemata. You use schemata to store information in and retrieve information out of your long-term memory. Fact number 4. Recognition is easier than recall. Let's take an example. If I ask you a question such as, is London the capital of UK? For answering this question involves recognition. You simply have to recognize whether the information provided is correct. If instead I ask you, what is the capital of UK? You reuse a process of recall to retrieve the right answers from your memory. Memory retrieval is made easier by the cues that we receive from the context. All those cues send signals to related information that is stored in our memory. The more cues we have, the easier it is to retrieve the right concept from memory. The big difference between recognition and recall is the number of cues provided by the context that can help the memory retrieval. Recall involves the fewer cues than recognition. That is why recognition is easier than recall. Recognition makes use of context, and context can help you to remember. Fact number 5. Sustained attention lasts 10 minutes. Suppose that you are sitting in a meeting and someone is presenting sales forecasting. How long can this person hold your attention? If the topic is interested and the person is a good presenter, the maximum you can focus on the presentation is about 7 to 10 minutes. And if you are not interested in the topic or the presenter is particularly boring, then you will lose interest much faster. For more people performing most tasks, they can hold attention for 7 to 10 minutes and then attention will start to wane. Fact number 6. There is a brain area dedicated to perceiving faces. Suppose that you are walking down a busy street in a large city and suddenly you see the face of one of your close relatives. Even if you are not expecting to see this person, or even if there are dozens or even hundreds of people in your visual field, you will immediately recognize this as your mother, father, brother, wife, sister, cousin, etc. Not only will you recognize them immediately, you will also have an accompanying emotional response like love, hate, fear, etc. According to Nancy Conwisher, there is a special part of the brain outside of the visual cortex whose role it is to recognize faces. It's called the fusion from face area or FFA. This special part of the brain is also near the amygdala, which is the emotional center of the brain. Fact number 7. Only 7 emotions are universal. If you go to the other side of the world and interact with the people there, can you recognize the emotion they are feeling by looking at their facial expression? Paul Ekman says that answer is yes. Paul Ekman is an American psychologist. He has been studying emotion for many years and in different geography and cultures. He has identified 7 emotions that seems to be universal, such as joy, sadness, anger, surprise, disgust, fear. According to the Paul Ekmans, there are 14 facial muscles that are the main muscles used in showing emotions. Fact number 8. Food tastes better when someone else makes it. Ever wonder why that sandwich from the takeout place down the street tastes better than the ones you make at home, even if you use the same ingredients? One study published in the journal Science found that when you make yourself a meal, you are around it so long that it feels less exciting by the time you actually dig in, and that subsequently decreases your enjoyment. Fact number 9. Cutting information in bite-sized pieces help us remember. Let's take an example. If you try to memorize this number like 1,098,765,432, you probably naturally thought something like 1098,765,432. Your short-term memory can only hold on to so much information at a time unless you try to one of the simple way to improve your memory, which is why you use chunking to remember long numbers. Fact number 10. Human can't multitask. You may have people claiming that they're natural multitaskers, and you have probably even seen it in some job requirements, but humans cannot multitask. Sure, you can listen to music while you work, but your brain can only process one higher function task at a time. That means that you will either be doing work and mainly ignoring the music, or listening to the music and ignoring the work. People simply cannot think about two things at once. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Keep on watching fascinating facts for more videos like this. Thank you.